Thank you, Sam. Welcome, everyone. My name is Sachin. I'm a lead technical support analyst at BMC Software, and today I will be joined by my colleague Bhanu Kulkarni, a senior technical support analyst at BMC Software, to present webinar on configuring forward proxy and migrating patrol agents from TSOM to BHOM. In our agenda today, we will discuss the steps involved in migrating the patrol agents from TrueSight Operation Management to BMC Helix Operation Management. I will then share some glimpse on the configuration required for automatic registration of the patrol agent in the Helix Operation Management environment. I will also give you a quick demo of migrating the agents, followed by a quick introduction of proxy server and where exactly it fits in the context of patrol agent and connection to BHOM. We will then discuss some common troubleshooting for patrol agent connections. We will also provide a reference material at the end of this webinar. When you migrate from TrueSight Operation Management to BMC Helix Operation Management, the prime factor for the decision making is patrol agents, as those runs on business critical servers, and you will avoid uninstallation or reinstallation of this agent on such servers. Fortunately, this is made easy, and we will soon find out how in the webinar. This is in particularly important for you in case you are existing TSOM customer and soon planning to migrate to new BHOM instance. Or even if you are new to BHOM and you have already set up QA and development environment, everything is tried and tested on the QA, and now you want to migrate the agents from lower environment to production instance. Or there could be another few corner cases where these steps can be effective, especially for our customer who have on-prem deployment of BHOM. If you are planning to migrate the patrol agents to BHOM, PMC recommends that you should upgrade the patrol agents to the latest version or minimal of 22.1 with the latest patch as of today. Some previous patrol agent versions are also capable of talking to TSOM and BHOM, and if any further help is needed to make such decision, you can contact customer support, which can enable you with the latest recommendation. In general, when you subscribe to new BHOM SaaS instance or deploy a BHOM on-prem instance, upon the environment activation, the login details will send to the contact reference. You can log in with these details and access the required information to configure the patrol agents with BHOM. Let's discuss the configuration that requires to add or update at agent side to control the connection behavior between patrol agent and BHOM. The first important configuration is API key. An API key is unique identification. It is used by BHOM for the purpose of authentication. With the help of BHOM API key, patrol agent can get authenticated, allowing encoded connection requests to BHOM. The key will be bound to specific instance, which means the key will vary for each deployment of BHOM, for example, QA or production. At the agent side, we have introduced new configuration in order to allow patrol agent to make a request to BHOM using API key. Patrol agent can get itself authenticated in BHOM using this API key. The API key will get stored in encrypted format in the agent configuration. The second important configuration is certificate. Certificates allow another layer of secure communication between patrol agents and BHOM. In order to enable agents to communicate with BHOM, the BHOM CA sign certificate will have to be updated on the target patrol agents. The third important configuration is integration service. Now you might be aware that in TSOM, agent will talk to TSOM components using integration service as an intermediate component. The communication of the patrol agent with integration service node will happen using TCP protocol. However, in the BHOM context, this configuration will basically allow you to connect patrol agents with BHOM using HTTPS protocol. The value of the integration service variable would be FQDN of BMC Helix Operation Management tenant, or in some cases, it is also referred as BHOM gateway or load balancer. This is not to be confused with the previous TSOM integration service load balancer. Another additional configuration that would be part of this migration is proxy server. You can set up a proxy server in your infrastructure. so that the patrol agents can communicate with the BMC Helix operation management via the proxy server. This will create an additional layer of security and avoid establishing direct communication from target servers with BHOM. Bhanu is going to talk more about this in a while. All these details will help you to establish a layer of secure communication between the agents running on the endpoint and the BHOM instance. You can repoint the patrol agent from TSOM to BHOM by updating the corresponding configuration variable as shown on the screen. I will now quickly demonstrate this by pointing one of my patrol agents running on this Windows machine named as BHOM PA to one of newly created BHOM instance. At the moment, this particular patrol agent instance known as BHOM PA is connected to my TrueSight Operation Management instance. I will now be pointing this patrol agent instance to the newly created BHOM server. To point this patrol agent from TSOM to BHOM, I have a two-fold action here. First is to download the CSIN certificate from BHOM and then to update the certificate on the current patrol agent server. The second action is to combine all the configuration variable required for API key or integration service variable to be updated and then apply to the current agent configuration. There are various ways to download the certificate, either by accessing the BHOM console URL, or you can also copy it from predefined out-of-box package, which is what I will be demonstrating. To download the agent security certificate, you can log into BMC Helix Operation Management Console. Under Administration Repository, you will find the predefined packages. You can download one of this predefined patrol agent package. In the interest of time, I have already downloaded and extracted on my target host. When you extract the downloaded package, you can locate the CSIN certificate under BMC Products, Install, Instata, copy this mca_ca.sir file and put it under Patrol 3 Security Certificate directory. Now, the second part of the migration activity is to update the configuration variable such as API key, integration service, and we also recommend using the forward proxy. Bhanu will be soon covering more details about forward proxy. To update the configuration on this agent, I have created a text file called config.cfg and I have added the following information. I will update the corresponding variable and apply it to the agent. To update the API key, the p-configuration rule set is secure store MCA tenant API key. This is introduced specifically for PA to connect and authenticate in BHOM. To get the API key, again log into BMC Helix Operation Management Console on the Administration Repository Deployable Package page. You can click on Copy API key. Update this value in the configuration variable. Another configuration is integration service. Value of the integration service variable, as highlighted previously, will be FQDN of BMC Helix Operation Management tenant, and I have updated port as 443. I have not updated the forward proxy configuration variable for this migration activity. Run the pconfig command to apply the configuration changes. Once the agent is restarted, you should see the agent is disconnecting from TSOM and it should start appearing in BHOM. As we have also updated the certificate, it will need a patrol agent restart to take effect. Once the agent is recycled, you should be able to see the agent getting disconnected from TSOM and it should start appearing in BHOM. Similar steps need to be performed to migrate patrol agent from one BHOM instance to another instance by updating the API key, certificate, and integration variable. This demonstrates that by following minimal configuration changes, user can easily migrate their patrol agents from TSOM to BHOM. I will now hand over it to Bhanu, who will introduce us with Proxy in context of patrol agents.
Now, first of all, what is a proxy server? Proxy server refers to a server that acts as an intermediary between the requests made by clients in a particular server for some services or requests for some resources. There are different types of proxy servers available that are put into use according to the purpose of a request made by the clients to the end server. The basic purpose of proxy server is to protect the direct communication of internet clients and internet resources. The proxy server also prevents the identification of client's IP address when it makes a request to the resource servers. Basically, a proxy server is a bridge between you and the rest of the internet. There are different types of proxy servers, but for this particular webinar, we will concentrate on the forward proxy. So, when people talk about proxy server, more often than not, they are referring to a forward proxy. Let me explain what this particular server does. A forward proxy provides proxy services to a client or a group of clients. Often, these clients belong to a common network like the one shown in the picture. It is the most common form of proxy server and is generally used to pass requests from an isolated private network to internet through a firewall. Depending on the forward proxy settings, a request can be allowed or denied. From a point of resource server, it is the proxy server that issues the request, not the client. So when the server responds, it addresses its response to the proxy, not the client. Because proxy server can keep track of request, response, their sources, and their destination, different client can send out various requests to different server through a proxy server, and the proxy server will intermediate for all of them. Again, some requests will be allowed, some will be denied. This proxy can serve as a single point of access and control, making it easier for you to enforce authentication, SSL, encryption, or other security policies. The forward proxy is typically used in tandem with firewall to enhance an internal network security by controlling traffic originating from the clients in the internal network. Now we'll talk about the use of forward proxy in terms of patrol agents and BMC Helix. Patrol Agent version 20.08 and above supports forward proxy. Patrol Agent and forward proxy will present on the on-premise in the customer environment, and proxy will then connect to the Helix gateway in BHOM environment. You can set up proxy server in your infrastructure environment so that Patrol Agent can communicate with PMC Helix operation management via a proxy server. This will create an additional layer of security. Is this kind of a setup, multiple agents will connect to the forward proxy, and in return, forward proxy will pass the traffic to the PMC Helix gateway, which in turn will provide us that extra level of security. Now we will quickly look into installing the forward proxy, in this case a Squid proxy on a Linux machine. Please note, you can configure a patrol agent for the forward proxy support only on Windows and Linux operating system. Agent also supports proxy service running on a Docker container. As an example, documentation on how to install and configure Squid proxy as a Docker container is present in the BMC documentation space. The link is as we can see on the screen. For example, I am installing Squid proxy as a service on a Linux machine. To install the Squid proxy on a Linux machine, I will run yum install squid. Since I am on a RHEL machine, I have used yum utility. You can use any utility like RPM, apt-get, dpkg depending on the flavor of OS. For Windows environment, you can simply download Squid package, unzip the package and follow the installer to install the Squid proxy. Now I will start the Squid proxy service. I will run command systemctl start squid to start the service. We can now see that the Squid proxy service is in active state. For this Squid proxy installation, the configuration file will be /etc/squid/squid.conf, and the access log for the proxy will be under the directory /var/log/squid as we can see on the screen.
You can check if the Squid proxy process is running or not using a ps command. Also, we can see on what port the proxy is listening using a command as we see on the screen. Here, by default, the proxy service is running on 3128 port, but this can be changed as per the requirement. Now let's see forward proxy configuration for Patrol Agent. There are two ways to configure forward proxy for Patrol Agent. First is during the installation of Patrol Agent, and second way is to configure forward proxy after the Patrol Agent installation. Now we will check the proxy configuration during the Patrol Agent installation. To achieve this, create a package in the BHOM. Copy the package on the server machine, unzip the package and move to the BMC product directory. Now run the run silent installation utility with the options API key, forward proxy server, forward proxy user, and forward proxy password. Now let's discuss about the option we are providing with installation utility. The first option we are providing here is API key. You can obtain the API key from the administration page on your BHOM console. Patrol Agent uses the API key to encrypt the message request into the BHOM. The second option is forward proxy server. Here you will have to define the fully qualified domain name or IP address of your proxy server along with the port. The third option is forward proxy user. This option can be skipped if your proxy is user and passwordless. The final option is forward proxy password. Define the password of the user. Again, this can be skipped if your proxy does not require the credentials. Now we will check the second option to configure forward proxy where the agent is already installed. After a patrol agent is installed, provide the proxy server details by configuring the three mentioned variables using pconfig utility. So in the first variable, put in the proxy server fully qualified domain name along with this port. In case if proxy requires username and the password for authentication, these can be given in second and third variable respectively. In second variable, provide the username, and in third variable, provide the proxy password. The second and third variable can be left empty if proxy does not require username and password. Now to push the variable in the patrol agent configuration, create a file say config_file.cfg, and the content of file should be as per the below format where all of the three variables as we have discussed should be present. Once your file is ready, run pconfig plus reload and the file name to push the variables in the configuration. Once the proxy password variable is pushed into the configuration, it is stored in a Patrol Agent secure store in a encrypted format for the security reasons. Now, once you check into the configuration, the forward proxy variable will show $SKS instead of the actual password, where $SKS shows that the password is in encrypted format as and is stored in secure store. Now once the forward proxy is configured correctly as we have discussed and patrol agents connect to the proxy successfully, you will see message as connecting forward proxy in the patrol agent logs. Now to check if the script proxy is forwarding the traffic coming from the patrol agents to a Helix gateway, go to a where logs quit directory on your proxy server and check the access.log as we can see on the screen. If you see closely, you will see the IP address of the patrol agent and the FQDN of a Helix environment in the access.log, and we can see that the agent is connected to Helix gateway through a proxy server. So we have concluded the discussion with respect to the forward proxy and configuration of patrol agent to use the forward proxy. Thank you for your time. Now I will hand over to my colleague Sachin Aru, who will take you through the troubleshooting.
Thank you, Bhanu. I have captured here frequently encountered issues while establishing patrol agent connection with BHOM. While troubleshooting such issues, it is important to review patrol agent error logs file. All the exceptions captured in these troubleshooting documents are from patrol agent error logs. The first on the list is where patrol agent is unable to communicate with the BHOM due to invalid API key. In the patrol agent error logs file, you will see an exception related to authentication failed. Correcting the patrol agent with proper API key should resolve the issue. In the second scenario, the patrol agent is unable to communicate with the BMC Helix operation management due to invalid forward proxy server configuration. In the patrol agent error log file, you will see failed to deliver agent handshake message with an exception related to proxies. In the third scenario, patrol agent is unable to communicate with the BMC Helix operation management due to invalid integration value. In such scenario, updating the FQDN of BMC Helix operation management tenant should resolve the issue. In the last scenario, patrol agent is unable to connect with the BHOM due to SSL handshake error. In such scenario, updating the valid certificate on the agent side should resolve. We have listed some useful references to go through during planning or configuration. This can provide more information on configuration we have just discussed. To summarize, in this webinar, we have learned how patrol agents can be easily migrated from TSOM to BHOM with very minimal configuration updates. We are also now introduced to the forward proxy, which add another secure layer between patrol agents and BHOM. We have learned some common troubleshooting areas for patrol agent connections. This concludes our webinar for today. I will now hand over back to Sam.